me say something, then we'll get into it. All right, perfect. All right, we are live right now. All right, cool. So today we're gonna do Q&A. I'm gonna talk about whatever kind of manifesting topic y'all want to talk about. We're gonna talk about. All right, but I do want to start with this. Maybe this will get y'all flowing with your questions if you're feeling shy. Or I know sometimes y'all get a little shy. Right? You really don't have to do anything to get what you want. Right? You don't have to do anything to get the life that you want, to get that specific person that you want, to get the money that you want, to live the life of your dreams. You don't have to do shit. You don't have to affirm. You don't have to visualize. You don't have to regulate a nervous system. You don't have to reprogram a subconscious. You don't have to do anything. You just have to know that you are source. And let me say this in a very different way. All right. You are the manifestation of God. The Spirit of God is all that there is. The Spirit of God is this cup. It is this beautiful water I'm drinking. It is you. It is me. It is your SP. It is the money that you want. Every single thing in reality is God. We'll often hear people, they'll start going down the spiritual path and they'll say, speak to your water. It's conscious. Well, everything is consciousness. The same substance, which is God, that makes up the water is the same substance that makes up that cell phone. There is no difference. They're both made out of source. They are both made out of source. All right? So source is everything that there is. Now, understand this as well. Because source is everywhere and everything, omnipresent, source has to be you. Because if source was not you, this would violate the definition of omnipresent. Because omnipresent means it's everything, always present. All right. So right now you are the manifestation of God. Okay. And because God is all that there is, everything that you desire is already you. So the money that you seek, it doesn't come from the external world. It comes from you. And then it flows to you. All right. It flows through you and to you. Everything that you're walking in right now, eventually, or at one point, flowed from within you, and now you are going to it right now. One of the most profound truths in scripture is the kingdom is within you. Right? And there's a lot of people right now that think the rapture is tomorrow. All right? But even scripture tell you, right? And they said, when is the kingdom returning? Jesus representing your I am aware, and it says, no one will say, look here or lo there, for the kingdom is not something that's observable with eyes, because the kingdom is within you. The kingdom is within you, Luke 17:21. Now, we're also told, seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things will be added to you. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things will be added to thee. So let's think about that. If the kingdom is all that there is, and if it's all that there is, that means the money that you want is the kingdom. That specific person that you're choosing is the kingdom, right? That love that you want, that prosperity, all of it is the kingdom, and the kingdom is within you. Then seeking ye first the kingdom is seeking ye first the understanding, the knowing that you are already everything that you seek. So that is your power. You're not manifesting anything out there. You already are the manifestation. And when you figure out, when you realize that you are source, you will no longer need to move a finger to get what you want. Affirming will become a thing of the past. Visualizing will become a thing of the past. Walking around believing that you need to embody something will be a thing of the past, because if you know that you are source, you understand that you are the fulfillment. And just having the desire is enough. Because if I'm the fulfillment of the divine, then the desire is just the Spirit of God reminding me who I truly am. It's the Spirit of God wanting to experience something through the identity of me. And that in itself is enough. So when we are actually still and knowing that we are God in our day-to-day life, just walking in that awareness, walking in that knowing, we can allow everything that we desire to be added onto us. Okay? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so let's talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. If you want to join. If you just got a regular question, ask away, and we'll start talking about them. Right? Today is for y'all. This evening is for y'all. Why do you feel discouraged? Why do you feel a little discouraged? Jay, what is good? I'm always blessed. How you doing? How you doing? What's up, Source? What it do, Source? I'm glad you know who you are. I'm glad you know who you are. Good to have you back. It's good to have you back. Spiritual Moolah, what's good? What's good? Nah, so hopefully you saw the live that I did earlier today. If not, check it out because I actually went into more detail on answering your question. The whole live was catered to your question. I feel like I'm only noticing that nothing's changed because nothing has changed, which was a very good point because I've been there. So I talked about that in the last live. So I think that'll help you out further if you still have any questions about that. All right, I appreciate you being here. All right, the 3D is a mess. It's a little difficult to stay in the inner reality. What do you mean? It's a mess. How is the 3D reality a mess? Why is it difficult for you to stay in the inner reality? Okay. Remember, y'all, this is what I want y'all to be careful of. It's treating the 3D, the 3D, we even name it. We name it. The naming or taking the 3D like it's this monster that you have to survive to get what you want. It's like we go through life and we're like, oh, well, I have this desire. And we look out at reality and it's just not good enough. We look at it and we say, oh, no, it has to change or I can't be satisfied right now. Well, think about it. Who are you being? If you cannot be satisfied right now looking out at whatever you see, then who are you being? You're being someone in lack, right? When we start to tear down that divide between who we are right now and our perceived external reality, when we stop thinking of these things as separate, me here, my external reality is just something that I have to survive until one day I get what I want and then I can be happy, then I can be fulfilled. Well, I'm making myself conditional. When if you actually had what you want, you'd be unconditionally satisfied right now just in the knowing that this present moment is perfect. All right? And so we swing like, it's as if we're in this present moment, but the present moment is not where we're actually dwelling. We're in the past trying to change things, thinking of how things should have been different. We're looking out at the situation and we're like, no, we're just throwing our consciousness into the future, saying, oh, what I see is just not good enough. I can't live here. We're never in the present moment. And how can you have anything if you're not in the present moment? You can only have something in the present moment. You've only ever had anything in the present moment. So remember, to him who has, more will be given. To him who has not, even what they have will be taken away. You can find the perfection in this moment. Just the knowing or just the ability to sit down and relax and open up the phone and watch a video means this moment is perfect. You don't have that many stresses right now. You don't have that many worries right now. You are absolutely perfect right now. And until you can dwell in the knowing that I am source and it is perfect right now and I am perfect right now and I already have it, well, you're going to constantly be in this position where you're waiting for something to change out there to prove to you that you are enough, but you're already enough. And once you decide that you're already enough, then reality can actually bend to your will. Okay? What do I think about Psalm 82:6? Let's look at it. It's about to get dark. Psalm 82:6. Ye are gods. Or I thought I told you, isn't it written in your law that you are God? Something like that. But let's not, that's 62:6. So 82:6. Let's not misquote. You are gods, you are all sons of the Most High. All right? Let's expand on that. Let's read the full chapter. All right. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Right? You know what's funny is whenever I read this, I'll be like, okay, ye are gods and all of you are children of the Most High. And then people will be like, no, it's not saying that. And they'll say, it says it after that, but you shall die like men because you are only men. If you actually read the whole thing, you'll understand that this is a calling to your divine nature. This whole thing is a calling to your divinity. Right? How can you take this out of context? It's calling you to know who you are through this. This is a book about you. Sure, it says, but ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Of course it says that. And so afterwards it says, arise, O God, judge the earth. For thou shalt inherit all nations. Judge it. Judge it all as righteous. Judge it all as beautiful, as divine, as perfect as for you. Right? So this is just the calling of you into your true nature. This is a reminder of who you truly are. Well, I don't know how you can take this out of context, y'all. Right? It's telling you all the things that you'll be able to do. Right? You can defend all of these people. You can do justice. The more that you awaken to the knowing that you are source in your reality, that you are God in your reality, the more that you help people in your reality. You begin to see your family members healthy and boom. You begin to see your children as perfect and divine and boom, they show up. Your friends, boom. Your loved ones, boom. The money, boom. You start to see all of these things as beautiful, as perfect, and now you give them the energetic space to actually show up beautiful and perfect because you are a God. Because you are a God. But if you don't rise to that truth, that you will die like men and fall like one of the princes. But the inheritance is already yours. Why would you want to die like that when the inheritance is already yours? You can rise and know that you are a source right now. Okay? And then how can we download the documents? So the document from earlier, my bad, I forgot to put it up. I'm going to be putting them up. I'm going to put them up. Okay? I'm going to put them up. Right? It's always this beating around the bush of, oh no, it's a little G, not a big G. It's like, shut the fuck up. God is God. People always try to pull you down, right? Leave a long ass paragraph trying to explain why you are not God. Please stop looking at yourself as so large and come down here with me and be small. Like, why would I do that? That doesn't seem fun at all. Why? I did that before. I've been where you were before. I don't want to go back there. No thanks. Let me see your eyes. My bad, y'all. My bad. You can request up right now if you want to. You can request up right now if you don't want to. If you want to. Dang, I talk so much that I missed That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. I asked God to show me the love in that situation of quote unquote death and realize the absolute beauty of life, no matter how seemingly short. Isn't it beautiful how when we ask, we will receive? When we open ourselves up to being able to receive the beauty in any situation, It's law, right? When you ask, you will receive, right? The only thing we have to do is open ourselves up. And since we already are source, the information flows to us because it's already within us. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Holding on to things, right? Like oftentimes we cling on to things, and nothing in this reality is permanent at all, right? Even this body's not permanent, right? And so clinging on to impermanence, it's fighting against the natural flow of life. The natural flow of life is every moment reality's brand new. Every moment things are falling away, things are transforming, things are rearranging. This is the natural flow of life. But how often do we cling to things? Speaking of clinging and surrendering, I was sitting around, I was just outside earlier, and I was having this thought, and I was thinking about how I used to be, thinking about a lot of people that I've worked with. And it's always interesting how we spend so much of our time, especially when we get into this reality creation space, we spend so much of our time looking for processes, doing techniques, trying to focus our mind just to get this one thing out there, right? And we lose sight of the trust in the middle. We lose sight of the ability to just live our life and experience life as everything unfolds. And sometimes we'll even masquerade faith with busyness. Right? We'll try to just stay busy, do a whole bunch of shit, distract ourselves to masquerade our lack of faith. How often do you take time during the day to really be present? Right? Not be present to get something, right? Not, I gotta be present because be present is gonna give me something, right? But how often do you actually just enjoy your life? And just sit down, realize that right now is perfect, that I have everything that I need, enjoy a conversation. Sit outside and enjoy just feeling the wind on you, right? Just read a book, take a nap. How often do you actually enjoy the time that you have at the end of the day before you go to sleep without trying to force a visualization on you? How often do you trust? Do you trust at all? And so if you're in that place where you're always striving, I always got to affirm, I always got to visualize, I always got to do this. Well, how could you get what you want? Because your entire state of being is someone who does not believe that they already have it. Your entire state of being is predicated around, I have to do something to get, I have to strive. And just the striving to try to get something is the declaration, I don't have it. And you can do this, and how does time fly by? A month passes, 3 months pass. You miss out on time with your friends, with your family. Life just blows by. Life just blows by you, and then here come the angry messages, right? I've been trying to manifest for 9 months and nothing's changed. Well, because you haven't changed. Where is that 9 months going? You've went a whole pregnancy period and done nothing but affirm and visualize and not enjoyed your life. Now you're a year older. Relationships are a little bit less. Social skills a little bit less. Are you a better person now? That's a good question to ask yourself. Since I learned about this reality creation space, am I actually a better person now? Do I show up with more love to my family, to my friends, or have I turned into just an isolated affirmation fiend? I'm just, gotta affirm tonight. God damn, I gotta do my visualizations and my sleep tape. Have you turned into a fiend? Has this actually made you a better person? Do you walk through life with more love? Are you more present now? Who are you, truly? If you were a better person before you got in this space, then What is this teaching you? All right? And for some people, it's even worse. You haven't got what you want, and you're a worse person. Then what are you doing? Who are you truly being? Are you going about this the way? What are you in this for? Have you thrown away your life just to get one person out there? That's typically what leads people here. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? Let's sit down, let's hold hands, let's be fucking honest, right? Most people that get in this space, why do you get in it? The little funky ass, stank breath ass SP that you want, huh? Have you thrown away your life for that one person out there? Have you? When they show up, all of a sudden you'll be better, huh? You'll just jump back into activities. You'll just jump back into, oh, I'll be a better son. I'll be a better daughter. I'll be a better friend. I'll be a better this, a better that. No, you won't. You'll be the same person you are right now. That's why you don't have what you want. I say all this out of love. I say this out of absolute love. All right? Absolute love. Okay? You can only have what you already give yourself. And if you already had it, would you be locking yourself up in the room affirming? Would you be retreating from the world just because I can't be around that person because they're going to bring down my vibration if I talk to them? You understand how insane that sounds? How everybody's just bringing down my vibration. What vibration? Did you measure it? Did you take a before and after snapshot of your vibration? Or are you just making shit up in your head like a psychopath? What are you doing? Every time I can't get my SP if I'm around my family because they're just so negative and this is the reality that people live in, right? I'm here to shake you about that shit. You can only have what you already have. You can only have what you already have. And if you're just walking around, you're being a worse person. You're being a lesser person. You're retreating from your life. Everything seems to be falling apart. But you found the best affirmations. Then maybe it's time to take a different approach. Love y'all. All right, what other questions y'all got?
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for letting me request.
Oh no, I appreciate you for coming up. How you doing today?
Hold on, I gotta...
No problem. We are here.
Okay, so I understand how, like everything you're saying, how thoughts create reality and to not focus on 3D and to go off your subconscious. With my situation, I live with my SP, and we have kids together, and everything was going fine. I stayed in the end state for the longest time, and I really feel like I've been on it the past 2 days, like no wavering, nothing, until today he said he's gonna go stay at a friend's house for a couple days because he's just done. So, but I didn't react when this happened. I kind of just said okay, and I went back to my subconscious and said, we're in a happy, loving relationship. So while he's gone, in order to manifest that relationship back, would I have to stay in that end state, like all day, every day, like knowing it's already mine?
Okay. Yes, but you're making this extremely conditional because when you say end state, I'm not really sure what you mean. Can you explain what the end is to you? Because it almost sounds like when you say wavering, are you talking about feelings? When you say you went to your subconscious mind, what are you actually talking about?
When I mean wavering, I mean there has been times when I take the fact that he said I never want to be in a relationship with you ever again. I'm gonna move out one day. I take that in a second, like, can I actually manifest him back?
Well, that's fine though, right? That's just the ego talking. Right? Let's play a game here, okay? Let's play a game here. All right. I want you to answer me honestly. All right. Do you believe that you are the creator of your reality?
Yes. I've done a lot of like seeing the videos. I understand that I'm the creator and everything I push out, like my thoughts create reality if I apply emotion to it.
All
Does that
right.
make sense?
Yeah, we're gonna have to break you down a little bit. All right. So it's not that your thoughts create reality because you have hella thoughts. If right now you just decided to sit in the dark, you would have all kinds of thoughts come up. You have thoughts about song lyrics, they don't show up in your reality. You would have thoughts about movies, those don't show up in your reality, right? So it's not all thoughts create reality, right? And it's not emotions that create reality either. If it was emotions that created reality, well, then how could I tell somebody that doesn't have money to feel like they have wealth to get it? Because even if you have money, does that mean you're not going to have days where you're sad? No. Does that mean you're not going to have days where you don't spend money? No. So it's not necessarily your thoughts or your emotions that create reality because your emotions can change all the time. You can walk outside right now, and because somebody cuts you off, your emotions can change. You can open up TikTok, and because you see a meme, your thoughts can change. So it's not necessarily that your thoughts or emotions create anything. They're just temporary things. What actually creates reality is your state of who do you say you are, right? It's your it's I am. It is how you define yourself in the midst of it. You're not your emotions. You're not your thoughts. You are the consciousness behind all of that, watching all of that. Does that make sense?
So, if you were to like summarize on how, since he's not at the house anymore, if I wanted to manifest us back into a happy, healthy relationship, where would I start now that we're not in the same house for the next couple days?
Well, all right. I know what you're looking for, and I was going to try to push you down a different path, but you're looking for a technique. All right. I can't really give you a technique. All right. But any technique that you do is going to be fine. But what I'm trying to point you to is the knowing of who you are. From that knowing, you can create whatever you want. All right. It's the knowing that you are the center of reality. All right. So right now, you are already the person that has all the love that you want. You're the person that has all the money that you want. You have the loving relationship that you want right now. You have that. Okay. The only thing that is going to hold you back from having that is you looking outside and you saying, because I don't see this, I don't have it. It is going to be you saying, because I feel this way, that means I'm wavering. It is going to be you trying to say, because I don't have this technique, what do I have to do to get it? All of those things imply that you're not that person. So when I talk about going to the end and staying there, it's you going to the knowing, okay, I am the creator of my reality. Therefore, who do I choose to be right now? Who do you say you are? Okay, I am love. Love flows through me. I am love. So all the love that I seek, it must flow to me. That's just my natural state of being. Right? So when you go to that, that is the end. Now, whatever you see out there, him going somewhere else, whatever you feel, whatever other thoughts that you have, those things do not create. You create, no matter what the external reality is trying to tell you is going on. You remind yourself of who you are. No. I already have it because I'm already this person. I'm already source. I'm already love. So it must flow to me. So it's not about going to sleep at night and doing affirmations. You can do those, but do them from the knowing that you are already love. So love is just a natural byproduct of your reality.
That makes sense. Thank you so much. My last thing is, while he's, it might sound stupid, but while he's gone for the next 2 days, Do I text him or do I let him text me first?
It doesn't matter. If you do it from the perspective of, I have to do this to get him, and then if he says something that doesn't make sense to you, all of a sudden now you're like, I must have done the wrong thing. Well, that's going to always be a problem. What do you have to do is always the wrong question. Who do you have to remember that you are? When you remember that you are a source, when you remember that you are already loved, it doesn't matter if you text them or don't text them. It doesn't matter if you send them an email or you send them a fucking pigeon. If you do it from the state of I am loved, it's all, there's infinite ways for everything to work out. And everything will work out. It must work out because you're already that person. When you start to say, I have to do something to get something, you're making it conditional. All right, and you have to you need to go beyond logic. I am unconditionally the person that has it, and if you're unconditionally the person that has it, well, it doesn't matter what you do because you already have it. How can you ask me what to do if you already have it? That makes sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you so much. That was
Absolutely.
all the questions I had. I think I really understand now. And the last thing that you said of how you shouldn't message them from a point of lack, I read that earlier and it was like confirmation. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. I look forward to the success story. Yeah, perception creates reality. It's not even that perception creates reality, right? Because sometimes people will say the mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It's deeper than that. There is no difference between what's real and imagined. There's no difference. What's the difference between what's real and imagined? Everything is imagined. Everything is imagined. How do we apply this to an appearance change? Okay, okay, okay. I'm always gonna point you out when we start talking about appearance changes, changes in health. I'm always gonna point y'all to the placebo effect. I'm gonna say Google the placebo effect and start looking at all of these cases. We've done, I think, 2 full discussions on them. So if you go to YouTube, you can probably search placebo effect on the channel, and you'll get two specific discussions. We talk about several examples of the placebo effect. What the placebo effect is that if a new drug or a new medicine is being introduced to the market, they will have a group of people that volunteer to take this study, all right, or get this medicine, all right. Sometimes they'll give them the real medicine, sometimes they'll give them a fake one. But what they'll see is even when they administer this fake or placebo medication, those people still end up healing. Why? Because in their mind, they believe they're getting the real thing. And just that belief alone allows them to heal. All right. So it's called the placebo effect. So you could use the placebo effect in your own life. You can start to say, every time I take a sip of this water, right? I'm saying, ladies, if you want to get thicker, you can say, every time I take a sip of this water, you know what I'm saying, my booty getting bigger. Right? Gentlemen, you can say, you know what I'm saying, that thing getting longer. Whatever you want to say, you can say that. You can say, I'm getting healthier. You say your skin is getting clearer with every sip. You can do whatever. Remember, the same substance. Just the way that they'll be like, oh, talk to your water. It's conscious. Everything is conscious. That Pop-Tart you ate earlier today was conscious. It's all consciousness. The water is consciousness. The food, consciousness. The chair that you're sitting on, consciousness. It's all consciousness. Exactly. Exactly. That's the purpose of the quote unquote baptism of water. That's the purpose of it right there. And then ever felt cursed by desires, visions that were very, very large and ambitious compared to some who are content with working at a small coffee shop or something. We didn't call it cursed, but sometimes the things that we perceive as large can be daunting. But you can always still rest in the fact, in the absolute fact that You are only blessed with those things because you already have the capacity to hold them, right? I want you to think about the nature of desires. Okay, think about the nature of desires. If you ask 10 people what prosperity is, you're going to get 10 different answers. 100 people, 100 different answers. 1,000 people, 1,000 different answers. To some people, prosperity is, I have the money to take care of my family. To some people, prosperity, there was a guy in here the other day that was like, you ain't rich if you don't have an AP, right? To some people, the material is prosperity, right? To some people, it's living in a farm. To some people, it's living in a high rise. To some people, it's just living with their parents and having just enough to take care of their parents so their parents don't have to work. To some, it's having 3 kids. To some, it's having 8. To some, it's living by themselves, no wife, no nothing, right? So prosperity, your desires are going to be very, very individual to you, right? Because Source wants to experience that through you. So that vision is given to you for a reason. So let's really talk about fear as well. Fear is a natural part of expansion, right? At one time, there were things that you do right now. Maybe it was just a new job. Maybe it was your first, corporate job. Maybe it's the first time you opened a business or you wrote a book or you sold it. At a certain point in time, there were things that you thought were large and they were scary. But on the other side of that fear, you realize, it was just expansion. It was just me doing something new. It was a natural response to me doing something new. That's how all these things are, right? Fear is nothing to run from. Now, let's really also think about this. When you have these things that you think are large, right? How do you perceive victory or success? Is success, okay, when faced with fear, you have this large goal. Is success getting to the finish line? Well, to me, success is every step. Every step along the way is blessed. Every step along the way is perfect, right? It's not just jumping off of the cliff, opening your parachute, landing, taking 2 steps. That's not the victory. Every step that you take closer to that edge is victory. Then looking over the edge is a victory. It's a step further. Then getting close and having 1 foot off, that's a victory. Until you finally jump and then you finally land. It's all a victory, right? So the best way to eat an elephant is 1 bite at a time. Lots of things seem large when we look at it as this huge thing. Of course it is. It's something new. That's natural, right? That's your divinity, is that you're an infinitely expanding being. That's part of the divinity of you. So that's natural, right? Nothing to be scared of, right? It's a calling. It's calling you into who you truly are, right? Embrace it and take it 1 step at a time. But yeah, I've been there. And the only way that I can do that is 1 step at a time. I remember when I was just, the one thing that I wanted to do was like, man, I got to get out of the corporate world. But the thought of living without a paycheck was very scary to me. Right? It was very scary to me. And then I had a lot of things going on, like my family and just how was I going to take care of them and yada. It was lots. And the end goal seemed huge. But it was 1 step at a time. It was 1 day at a time. Even the setbacks were lessons, which were wins. It was all a win, right? And so when I started taking it like that, okay, this is doable. I can do this. That's where the win was, right? Then eventually you're at the end. And by the time you're at the end, you already have a new desire, right? You're still going. You're still expanding. You are still being the God that you are, right? So that's how I would approach it. 1 step at a time. What's up, Shelly? What's up, Shelly? Let the thoughts and feelings pass, but they're so heavy. How do I come back to I am, right? With presence. How often can you bring yourself back to the present moment, right? Thoughts and feelings, right? We act like they're things that we have to run from. Like, for some reason, if I think too much, I'll be out of alignment. For some reason, if I feel too much, I'll be out of alignment. But we typically think that our quote unquote overthinking and our feeling are good things in other situations, right? When you're studying your family members, you know them so well, and on their birthday, you get them the gift that makes them cry. Oh, that's good overthinking, right? That's perfect. That's beautiful. Okay? When you study that person that you love and you just know what turns them on, you know how to calm them down, you know how to speak to their soul. Oh, that's a good overthinking. That's perfect. You don't want to change your overthinking there. You get where I'm going with this? All right? When you're with somebody and you just love them and you feel for them so strongly and you would just do everything, that's a superpower then. When you look at that beautiful child of yours and you say, I would do anything for you, and your feelings are so strong, oh, that's a good thing then. It's a good thing then, right? The overthinking is good. The feeling is good until we get into this space. And all of a sudden it's, oh, I'm going to be out of alignment. If you know that you are source right now, okay, let's put it like this. If you know how to ride a bike, do you have to constantly affirm to remember how to ride the bike? Because you're not affirming that you know how to ride a bike, do you forget how to ride a bike? If you started to understand or see the knowing that you are source, the same way that you saw learning how to ride a bike, oh, I know that I am source now. So how often should I return to it? When I can. When I feel like riding a bike. When it benefits me to ride a bike. But do I need to walk around constantly affirming that I am source? No. You've been source. This isn't new. You don't become God just because you affirmed it. You're just remembering who you are, which allows you to live life easily. This understanding should actually allow you to be more present with your thoughts, to be more present with your emotions, knowing that you are the perfection behind them. You are not them themselves. This too shall pass. Okay, my thoughts can run. The ego can run. It's going to do that. Me stopping it just makes it want to run more. You ever had a dog run away from you? You get out in front of it and you're like, motherfucker, you better not fucking run. And it just does that. What's that pose that dogs do right before they finna run from your ass? And as soon as you try to get it, it takes off down the fucking street because it thinks you're playing. This is the same way that your thoughts are. Once you start trying to chase down your thoughts and stop them, it's like they just run faster. Once you try to suppress your emotions, they just bubble up faster. They're like, it's a game now. But you're not even your emotions and thoughts. And your emotions and thoughts are always changing. They're always running. They change moment to moment. So why am I trying to control them? If they change moment to moment, why am I trying to control them? Moment to moment. The moment you get a grip on them, here comes another thought. Just peeking around the corner. Like, oh, it's my turn now. Oh, you got that one, huh? Take this one. So that's just going to constantly put us behind the 8 ball. We're just constantly chasing after our thoughts instead of what? Being. Living life. When it's time, when my mind is racing, okay, cool. It's just a perfect opportunity for me to remind myself that I'm still perfect at the end of it. When I'm in the middle of the emotions, whether it's right after I feel it or in the middle of it, I can remind myself I'm perfect and I'm source. And I can remind myself when I get out of it, it was just an emotion. It's fine. I'm still perfect. And I've always been perfect. Here's the thing, y'all. When you decide who you are right now, you're not just changing the current moment and the quote unquote future. You're changing all time because the past doesn't exist. The past is happening right now. The future is happening right now. Everything is happening right now. So your identity right now changes all timelines. This is why even going back and doing revision is cool. I was like, it's cool. I guess it's fun. But changing who you are right now changes that anyway. And you naturally do it all the time. This is why you have a breakup and then you sit around saying, oh, please just give me her back. I need her back. And then 2 years later, you get with that person that you really like, who's really, you know what I'm saying, doing those things that you like. You're like, oh, thank God I went through that old situation because now I'm with you. What changed? Your state of being changed. And so you look at your past differently. Your past changed because you are different right now. You naturally do it. There's nothing to go back and change. Nothing to go back and fix. That was just a perfect version of you right then. The only place that you have power is right now. Why would I waste it dwelling on something back then? That was a perfect version of me just doing its best, leading me to this moment. And in this moment, I have all my power. So I choose to walk in divinity, in the truth of who I am, and allow everything to unfold perfectly for me. Okay? I trust that made sense. Appreciate you, Miss Lex. Appreciate you, Goddess. Yeah, Shelly. You've never been unloved, right? It is a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. I've never been unloved. None of you. You've never been unloved. You've never been betrayed. You've always been perfectly supported. You've just been basing your love on the wrong things, right? And let me tell y'all this story, right? Because this is one of my favorite stories. So I have a lot of favorite stories. Typically, if y'all are like, hey, I'll share my success story, I'll share it. But I don't ask y'all to share it. I just share it if you tell me specifically to share it. So one of the clients that I was working with, right? She was trying to get an SP. A specific person. If you don't know what an SP is, a specific person. She was trying to manifest a specific person. And our session, what she was constantly saying, she was just telling me the story of her past. I've been in all these situations. I've been betrayed. It started with my parents, blah, blah, blah. Move forward to relationships. People have betrayed me. People have left me, blah, blah, blah. Right? Typical story. And so we kept playing with this idea. All right, kept bringing her back to the remembrance that you are source, that you've always been perfectly reflected. You've always been infinitely loved, unconditionally loved so much by source. And there was this light bulb moment that went off with her. So, oh my God, you're right. I've never been unloved. I've been basing my love on the wrong thing. I've been basing my love on the external reality when the external reality has just been reflecting me. And I've been searching for love out there, and it could only give me more situations that made me search for love. But the truth is, I've been always unconditionally loved and supported in being whoever I chose to be. I was like, bingo. Bingo. I love that you said that, right? And of course, what happened? I get a long ass email 2 days later, Alex, oh my God, you're not gonna believe what happened. The SP came back. Not only did he come back, all these other people, not just romantic relationships, but old family members. You've always been my favorite and sorry for how things were. Why? Because when I decided right now that I've always been loved, it doesn't just change this moment forward. My identity has to be matched by reality. Therefore, even things that I quote unquote perceive in the past have to show up to match my identity. This is how magical you are. There's no past. There's no past. There's no future. There's only right now. And you get to choose right now who you're going to be. There's nobody in your head with you telling you a story if you've been unloved. You've just been judging, basing you being loved on the wrong things. You've been looking in the mirror and complaining that, damn, the reflection won't change the fucking shirt. When it's just looking at you and you won't change the shirt. You've never been unloved. You've always been unconditionally loved. So when you actually tell the truth, when you actually start to base your worth on the truth of who you are, take your consciousness from out there and put it back within you, now everything can change. Now everything can change, right? This is the magic. It is such a magical moment when we start making life about us. When we start making life about us. Because the truth is, none of us have ever been unloved. None of us. Right? Oh, not Angel Pie, stop. I get shy. I get real shy sometimes when y'all start doing that, right? No, but I'm grateful that clicked. I'm grateful that clicked, right? When we stop making it about the external world, when we start making it about us, right? This is when manifestation becomes instant. She didn't have to wait for 3 months. She didn't have to wait for 3 months. She simply had to make the decision right now. And 2 days later, she sent me the email. It's not that those things, it took 2 days. It's just that so many things piled up after 2 days. She was like, I got to send you an email. Overnight, you wake up in a new reality. Right? Look at y'all. I've always been loved by myself or others. Sometimes I get nervous about sharing success stories. I don't want y'all to just take the words and not understand the deeper truth in this. Okay, because the words don't matter. It doesn't matter if you say loved by yourself, loved by others, it doesn't matter. Okay, this is the thing. Are you basing who you are, okay, on the source within you, or are you waiting for external circumstances to show you who you are? Right? Y'all don't miss what I'm saying, right? I'm not here to give y'all a manifestation technique. Okay? Because that shit is just gonna handicap you. I'm here to wake you up and remind you and point you back to your power. Okay? This is why if you went to 100 different Reddit posts and you saw success stories and you asked them exactly, hey, what did you affirm to get it? It wouldn't matter because you're not them. The power is not in the words. The power is the state of being. It's who they know themselves to be. So the deeper realization is this: you are God. You are source. Of course it's already working because you are absolutely perfect. Show divine ass. I love when y'all come in here like, oh, it's already working. Of course it is. How could it not work? Because you are fucking perfect. Because you are perfect. He is perfect. They are perfect. We are all perfect. Right? And the more that we begin to see ourselves and see others as perfect, the more they can change, right? So here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. Get to the truth. Yo, stop looking for techniques. You don't have to do techniques. You can just go out and live your life. Have fun. You can go out and live your life, have fun, and just know that you are source. And when you know that you are source, now guess what? You base all of your identity on the knowing that you are source. How could I ever, if I know I'm source, how could I ever say I'm unloved? I am love. It's not about me being love, or it's not about me giving love or receiving love from the external world. I just am love because I am source. Do you get what I'm saying? When we start to base our identity on the fleeting things out there, right? Oh, I've been betrayed. Oh, they didn't show up to me like this. All my thoughts. Oh, that all is fragile. You're trying to build a house on quicksand. But when you build it on the strong foundation that you are source, now do whatever affirmation and visualization from that place. Because when you do that, everything changes, right? Just think about the story that I was telling. The only shift, right? If you hear the story from the outside, okay? She looked out and she said, I've always been betrayed. This is what men do. This is what relationships do. This is what my family do. She was basing who she was on the past of how reality was interacting with her. Of course, if I base my identity on reality, it's going to stay the same. But when she was finally like, whoa. Reality was just doing that because I was being somebody and it had to reflect me back. Why am I basing my identity on reality? I've never been unloved because source. has loved me unconditionally, so much so that it allowed me to do this. So when she started telling a different story, the only change in the story was, I'm not going to base my identity on reality. I'm going to base my reality, my identity on being source. That's the shift. That was the shift. That was the shift. That was the state of being. That was it. That's the embodying, right? This is all I'm talking about. This is all we have discussions about. Is you are source. You are God. I am. You make the laws. You make the rules. You don't have to argue for your limitations. You don't have to be stuck in any limitations. You don't have to sit up all night, affirm. You don't have to wake up in the morning like, oh shit, did I do my visualization right? I don't know. Oh shit, my subliminal tape. You don't have to do any of that. You can do that, but do it from the knowing that you are source. And from that knowing, all things will be added to you, right? Seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things will be added to you. The kingdom is everything, and the kingdom is within you. Seek ye first the knowing that you are source, and all these things will be added to you, okay? Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Exactly. She changed her state of being in the story she was telling herself, so reality changed. The reality had to change because reality is us. That's the second part of this. Is that the 3D is not the 3D, the 3D is you. The 3D is not some separate thing that you're surviving and limping through. And all the 3D is so unfavorable. And my SP is, she just got a train ran on her by these two big. We act like the 3D is something that we just have to survive. But the 3D is you. When you know who you are, everything follows. Because it's just you. There's no as within, so without. There's no above, so below. It's just you. And so the less that you perceive this separation between you and reality, the quicker things change. The more that you just see reality as you. And if I just know reality is me, why am I waiting for it to change? I simply embody it. I know it. I move on. I enjoy my life. I have fun. All right? I do whatever. Okay? I do whatever. I appreciate you. Yeah, the train would be crazy, right? The train would be crazy. Ooh, it's a good question, Drew. Is there a book that walks through the Bible in a spiritual way that I can recommend? Damn, bro, you just gave me some divine fucking confirmation. Let me stop saying the F word before I get another strike. No, not one that I can think of. Not one that I can think of. I was just talking to somebody and I was saying that. And I had just made a joke. I was like, you know what? If somebody tells me to write a book, and the next day I'll do it. You didn't even tell me to write a book. I just all of a sudden brought it up, and now Shelly said it. So there we go with the confirmation, right? So I don't know of any off the top of my head, but I will tell you Neville Goddard talks about things a lot. He breaks down scripture. But I don't know if he really does in books. I know in certain lectures he has. And even with lectures these days, you got to be careful because there's a lot of AI lectures out there. So, Bashar, right? But I don't listen to a lot of Bashar. I see clips of Bashar, but I haven't really sat down. And I don't know, does Bashar have books? Does Bashar have books? Because I would say that would be a cool place to start. But if y'all know, does anybody on here know any books that talk about scripture in a mystical way or in an esoteric way? I'm not sure. Power of I Am. Yeah, Power of I Am does. So, yeah, Power of I Am, if you don't know the Power of I Am on YouTube, great channel. Tom Karen talks about scripture on his YouTube channel. But I don't know if anybody does it in a book, though. In a book. If anybody does it in a book. By DeMello. Awareness by DeMello. So there's one. Y'all better screenshot that one. And then 3 magic words. Yeah. Bill Donahue for sure. Is it Bill or Bob? Something Donahue. Yeah, Bill. It's like William Bill. Okay, yeah. Donahue. Yeah, he talks about it. Course in Miracles. Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles. Course in Miracles. Course in Miracles for sure. Reverend Ike. Oh yeah. Secret Teachings of All Ages. Melanie P. Hall. I actually had that book right. Anywhere, it's somewhere close. I have a whole bunch of books sitting around me. But yeah, Melanie P. Hall, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. Is there different types of Bibles? I would love to get y'all's opinions in the comments on that. Bibles that y'all recommend. I mean, New and Old Testament aren't different. You know, I would say if you're going to read it for like a historian, you'll probably go to the King James. But I don't read it like a historian. So whichever one makes sense to you, read it. But all the translations are interesting, right? So like right here, if I go to right here, Bible.com, if I hit the translations, you've got how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we got 11 on that slide. There's probably another 11, another 11. So this is, you know what I'm saying? That's about 50 different translations right there. Some people say the Ethiopian text, but then you have removed text, right? You have the Apocrypha, then you have the Gnostic text. There's a lot. So I would say just start with whatever. Right? Start with whatever, and then just evolve from there. Kind of let it lead you. Let it lead you. You know, y'all know me. I'm not gonna walk you away from any kind of text. I'm not gonna push you away from any spiritual text. So just go to BibleGateway.com, and if you go to BibleGateway.com, I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat on my other page. One second. All right, I'll put it in here. BibleGateway.com. All right, there's the site right there, BibleGateway.com. And if you go to that website, you can just, it's all the different Bibles right there. So you can just go and you can find a translation. Now, I don't think some of the removed texts are in it, like the Apocrypha, right? But there's also another site that you can get the Gnostic text. What is it? There is a good free place where you can get the Gnostic text. You can download those. I'll have to find it. Wonder if somebody else knows where it is. You can get the Gnostic text, but then you can do you can get the Apocrypha as well. The Apocrypha is small. Like the Apocrypha is very, very thin. Very, very thin book. But I would say that's a good read as well. And Apocrypha is spelled, well, I think somebody else already put it in there. So, yeah. And what do I know about the 33? Well, so the 33 could represent, I guess, the age that he was. It could also represent the 33 vertebrae. And the 30 there's so if you look at the age of Christ in a esoteric or a physiological way, let's put it like that, a physiological way, Jesus died at the age of 33. You have 33 vertebrae. And if you even think about the metaphysical process that's represented by Jesus' death, because it is translated to a metaphysical, physiological process in your body, where you have this seed that's released by a part of your brain, and it lies dormant around your sexual area for a while. And then if you don't, release it sexually, or just kill it with eating shit, then it actually rises back up in your body. You have the pineal and the pituitary gland, right? The pineal and the pituitary gland, if you study them, if you look at them, the pineal gland, right, it actually swells up. When it swells up, our ancestors, they actually use this cobra, right? They'll talk about the cobra. If you look at like ancient text walls, you'll see this cobra, right? So the head of the pineal gland swells up like a cobra. The pineal, or the pituitary underneath it, flickers like the tongue of a cobra. You have a place in your head called the claustrum. Sounds like Santa Claus. So the claustrum releases this fluid, all right, called the chrism. Chrism sounds like Christ, right? And then when it actually flows through your brain, it gets activated. If your pineal and pituitary glands are open, it gets activated. It turns into this yellow and white substance representing what? The land of milk and honey, okay? And then you have this whole physiological process that goes on in your brain where you can reach higher levels of consciousness. So if you look up the sacred secretion, you'll get that story. The sacred secretion. So it's a very, very interesting story of the metaphysical process of Christ. I've done, I think I had a full discussion on it. I think we did a full discussion on it a long time, like back when I was first starting to do content. So it might have been like 2 years, a year and a half ago, right? So it's interesting if you read that process, because we start to think that things like semen retention are new. If you're a dude, if you know about seed retention, right? It's basically, or if anybody who doesn't know what retention is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's men not releasing. And you don't release your sexual fluid to give yourself higher states of consciousness. It does some physiological repairs within your body, etc. But it's just become popular in the last few years. However, this is a practice that's been going on for a long time, right? And then if you really refine the act, you can actually reach orgasms as a man without releasing, right? You can separate the actual orgasm from the release of the fluids, right? So it's and honestly, when I talk to most men, I recommend it because it pulls your mind out of just being in lust, right? But also, it's a difficult process because, all right, let's just be very, very real, okay? Let's just be very, very real. When most people talk about sexual discipline, especially for men, you know what I'm saying? We don't get told how to use that sexual energy. People just say, just keep it in your pants. Just put it away. Just put that thing away, Alex. Just keep it in your pants, right? But we even see, you know what I'm saying, the church teaches that, and they have all kinds of issues with sexual, they have all kinds of sexual issues in the church. We'll just say that, right? So obviously it's about more than just keeping it in your pants. So you have to have tools to handle that. And retention actually gives you tools to keep your sexual energy under control. And you'll see there's going to be a lot of changes, right? You'll start looking at women differently. You just have a newfound sense of discipline. Because when you do difficult things, other things become easier, right? Two of the best things that you can do, even if it's just for discipline, is going to be fasting and sexual or semen retention, especially for men. And I would always advise men to at least go at least 2 months without releasing. Well, 2 months at a time. But for the first time you do it, go 3 months. Because, okay, we're about to have this talk. All right, so in 3 months, what actually happens for men, if you don't know, is that your sperm, it takes about 70-something minutes or 70-something days to mature. So from the time you conceive a little sperm till its full growth, it takes about 70 days. All right. After 70 days, it drops in your sac, right? And from there, after about 15 days, your body starts to reuse this energy. It starts to get recycled in your body. So oftentimes, men, we go on retention, the first 3 months are going to be the most difficult because you're going to have all this energy. You're going to have frustration. You're going to have these urges, right? And all that is your body is so used. Because if you think of the natural process of the body, it wants to preserve its DNA. It wants to pass itself on, right? So if I'm constantly used, your body is constantly used to you like terrorizing the socks and the old t-shirts in your home. You're just making it rain on everything, right? The bed sheets hate when you come home. Oh no, not again, please stop, right? So if you're just doing this all the time, day after day after day, well, your body's always in hyperdrive to replenish that. So when you stop, your body's still in hyperdrive. This is why you can have those dreams, right? Those dreams at night where you just release, etc. So once you get past the 90 days and your body starts reusing it, well, now your body can actually get into homeostasis. So a lot of that energy can become smoother, right? And so that's why I would say that 90-day mark is a good thing to get to, because it just allows you to get into this, homeostasis with your body. The ramen noodles have nothing to do with the money. Yeah, look, just think about it. You'll still be eating those when you are making that bread, right? Because there are gonna be days where it's just like, hey, look, the money's coming. I got to get to work. Let me just pop this packet in the oven or pop this packet in the microwave real quick and handle my business. Cause I got shit to do. So you already are everything that you desire to be. What about women? What you mean you think that's enough? Think that's enough of me talking about that? Just because you said that, we finna keep talking about that shit. I don't know about women though. I don't know. I don't know if it's more for women. I just know that from a male perspective. Does anybody know any woman who teaches the spiritual perspective of abstinence or celibacy from a woman energy perspective? What I do know about women is that even y'all's sexual energy is different, right? Because you have these cycles in alignment with the moon, which is pretty cool, where you already have this elimination or this cleansing process, right? Where men, we don't just naturally release, right? We constantly are it's exponentially growing within us, right? So for women, I don't know if that has the impact on your sexual energy, but I do know that because y'all kind of are these emotional or spiritual centers of the home, meaning one thing about if you deal with a woman that you love, and gentlemen, you probably know what I'm talking about, you could be having a discussion with her and you tell her something that's going on in your life just as an FYI. And you come back 2 or 3 days later and it's handled and she's like, hey, is everything okay? And you're like, damn, you seem more concerned about it than me. Like it's over. Right? Women have this way of when they care about you holding on to things. Right. And so even the nature of women, right? They're always with their friends or they're community based, right? Everybody's venting to the woman. Like the kids are venting to the woman. Her friends venting to her. Her parents venting to her in some cases, right? So you have this energetic purging, okay, that happens on that cycle where you can release things. Okay? Now there are other things that happen with that, right? Like for instance, okay, let's go down there. For instance, so sexually, okay? We've talked about this briefly before. Keep in mind, you still have the power to eliminate and decide that you have no soul ties and no energy can touch you. You are that powerful that you can make the decision, okay? But let's say that you have this beautiful goddess, right? You just met her. You know what I'm saying? You just met her. She don't give a damn about you, though. You don't give a damn about her. Okay? So you just have this divine goddess that you just met. And her body is intelligent enough to know that we want to expel this energy every once in a month. Okay? What do you think is going to happen to you when you go inside of her and her body is like, oh, we don't care about you? Her womb looks at you and is like, we don't really care about you like that. What do you think is going to happen? All right, now let's turn it around. Ladies, okay? What do you think is going to happen when that man goes into you and the intelligence in his body just wants a nut? He's not really there for anything more. What do y'all think is happening energetically when this is going on? Okay, now this isn't to preach fear or anything. This is just saying that, sex is it's an energy exchange, of course. Right? All kinds of things are merging. Your energy fields are collapsing over one another. Right? Y'all breathing out musty ass breath over each other, sweating over each other. It's a lot of energy being exchanged in this act, right? But what is happening when you're actually laying down with somebody that doesn't give a damn about you? This is why even when you start practicing retention, you will, if you start reading like the Tao or studying like the Tao, you'll see that if you start to hold your semen, right, and it actually transforms. It transforms into Jing. Okay, then that Jing transforms into Qi, right, life force. And so when you're actually making love to a woman that cares about you, right, what y'all can do is y'all can start utilizing tantra and doing different things, and that energy can actually circulate in between y'all and actually heal y'all. So when you are actually consciously, with somebody that cares about you, you care about them, it just hits different. Y'all know that. Sex is different, right? I would go as far as to say it is the connection. It's the connection that makes it good anyway. It's the connection that makes it good anyway. So how do I know all this? I'm only telling you information you already know. You already know all this intuitively. I'm just your mirror. This is your reality. Sometimes I do feel like y'all get surprised when I just break out random knowledge. We get so caught up on the manifestation path. You know you can just drop a topic on me. I might say, what do you think about the 33 in Christ? And now here we are. We done ventured way off over here. But yeah, it's creative energy for sure. A manifestation story that shows how illogical it can be. Of course I can. I've already told a lot of stories. What story do y'all? I guess if anybody wants to hear a certain story, I'll give y'all this second. If y'all want to hear a certain story again. What about if you're only sexually compatible? Well, once again, I don't say any of this to scare you. I just say all this to just give you a little bit more information on what's going on. But at the end of the day, you still make the choice on what impacts you, right? You don't have to be tied to anybody sexually. Your energy doesn't have to go to anybody at all. You can make that choice right now. Okay, mine doesn't, for sure. The alabaster, all right. So somebody just said, I'll put that in the chat. The alabaster girl. It's called, this is a book. They said the alabaster girl is the best book they read about understanding the feminine woman. So that might be a good book. That might be a good book. What do I think about Jesus being born in Palestine? Honestly, I have no opinion on that. I don't know. Is that are you trying to lead me somewhere? If you're trying to lead me somewhere, tell me. Don't tease me, don't edge me, and then I finish the job, man. If you're trying to lead me somewhere, let me know. And the topic is whatever. We're just having Q&A. It's whatever y'all want. Okay, here we go. I know my desire to move in with SP is fulfilled just by having the desire, but how to navigate unfulfilling / surviving 3D in the meantime. Guys, once again, right? So, let's get back to that. Okay, so genuinely wondering if there's any truth to it. So some of the things I do see truth to, and there are. So I don't think about. I'll get back to that SP question. When I think of locations, when I read scripture, this is how I think about it. Okay, I don't think about it as in a true location. Okay, I don't think about it in a true location, but certain things are significant. For instance, the Jordan River. Right, the Jordan River. The Israelites had to cross the Jordan River to get to the Promised Land, which, if you read the book metaphysically, it represents Egypt or following the old laws, following man laws, to crossing into the Jordan after they were wandering. Crossing over the Jordan while they were wandering into the Promised Land represents the transition to what? Internal law, to following the decree of source, right? And this is the same reason why Jesus was baptized in the Jordan, which represented the movement of humanity from following the external laws to the internal laws. So when I think of locations, I think about it like that. Like, okay, metaphysically, what is the significance of this? What is the reference point of this place when it comes to scripture, right? But when it comes to like, oh, if you're from this place, you're the Promised Land, that's nonsense. That shit is absolutely nonsense, right? And if you are manifesting for a new job, is it okay to stress about a DDL? What's a DDL? What's a DDL? In my old job, you had a firm for a new job about DDLs. I'm not sure what that means, but is it okay to stress? Yeah, it's part of you being a human. That's part of you being a human is to stress, right? It's to have emotions and feelings and all that. So this is the same way that I can answer this question. I know my desire to move in with SP is fulfilled just by having the desire. Why is there a but after that? Right? Why is there a but after that? Say, but how to navigate unfulfilling surviving the 3D in the meantime? Well, here's the thing. You're not surviving the 3D. This once again goes to us treating the external reality like it's some monster to survive. It's like, oh, I can't bear to be in this reality without this person. All right, let me give y'all some tough love real quick, okay? Keep in mind, this is from love, okay? If you truly believe that you are the source, okay, if you truly believe that you are the source and that you are love, and these people gravitate to you just because you are love, would you really be just surviving the 3D? Or would you just be knowing they were going to show up and doing whatever you could do in the meantime? Let me ask it in a more triggering way. When you had fantasies about your dream relationship growing up, did you ever fantasize that you would be sitting around trying to manifest somebody to come back to you? Think about it. Think about what I said. Was it ever your goal to be like, oh yeah, one day I'm gonna get older and I'm gonna be sitting around all day stressed, wondering if my manifestation technique is gonna work for this person, and I'm gonna barely survive physical reality because it looks so unbearable without them? No, you never dreamed of that. Now, when I put it in that perspective, does that sound like you're actually being the center of your reality? Does that sound like somebody who knows that they're source, that knows that everything is working out, that's really embodying being the divine? It doesn't. It doesn't, y'all. What would you do if you knew everything was going to work out? And why aren't you doing that? If you knew everything was going to work out, which it is, what would you be doing? Why don't we take that perspective? Remember, what do you have to do in this situation? Like, how do I have to navigate? Who are you being when you navigate it? If you're walking around in the knowing that it's done already, what would you be doing? Whatever shows up, you just be like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's mine already. I'm just going to keep doing whatever I do. I'm going to enjoy life. Shit, you can be dating. Right now, y'all could be juggling. Waiting for that one dude or that one woman to come back. You could be juggling 3 right now while you're waiting. It doesn't matter what you do. What you do doesn't matter. Who you are being while you're doing those things, that is what matters, right? So number one, we have to stop acting like the third dimensional reality is just something to survive in the meantime until we finally get this thing to come back to us that makes us happy. If you had them, you would have them right now. So you can only have them by knowing that you have them right now. And if you knew that they were already yours right now, then you would know that right now is perfect. There wouldn't be a 3D to survive. It would just be fine. Reality would be cool. It would be perfect because you are perfect.
Hello, see again.
Hello, how you doing?
But that is so ooh, it's so when you say it sounds so like, oh yes, do it. But it's really hard to do. Like goodness, it's been hard to do. Like to just allow that person or allow yourself to just experience whatever your experiences are, whatever path you have to go. And I don't want to sound like ego, but just allowing him to, like, I remember I would get so jealous, like, we're not together. If he, conversing with other women, I would just get really, really jealous until I just had an epiphany, like, just allow it to unfold the way it's going to unfold, because you're going to drive yourself crazy trying to make it or bend it to be what you want it to be. Like, it's certain things that I feel like, I don't know how to explain it, but I just had to let go of that tight grip that I had on it, because I was in a really unhealthy mindset with that when I was trying to control everything. I'm looking for signs and synchronicities and just trying to look for everything to, I would get the signs, but it's just like, okay, once you get the sign, you're still looking for more signs. It's like a never-ending cycle that you just keep looping and looping and looping.
Exactly.
So the last time that I just asked for a sign, I just said, just give me a sign. I got the sign like immediately. I'm just like, you know what? let me just let it go.
Yeah.
Let me just let it go and just exist and actually start dating other people and start allowing, giving somebody else a chance, because I had my grip so tight on this man that I know it probably suffocated him, because I was just not willing to let go.
Yeah.
I just felt like none of this makes sense if I can't have that one person. Like, why am I being shown what life can be? It was a lot to deal with. It was a lot. Like, yeah.
Yeah, keep preaching. Keep preaching. I know somebody needs to hear this right now. Like, it's that the surrendering is important, right? Or else you're just constantly in this loop where you're looking for something out there to show you. And you're constantly looking for something out there to show you. And in that striving, you're affirming that I'm not the person that has it. Because if I was the person that has it, I wouldn't be out there looking for signs, because I'd already have it.
Yeah, that's all liberty is. Because if not, like, you'll literally drive yourself mad. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to constantly look and seek and search. And, like, I feel like within our human minds, like, once we've shown, like, this is this person, this is what they mean, this is who they are, like, I ideally we just let it go and let it be and let it unfold the way it's supposed to. But your human brain is just like, oh no, it has to happen right
Yeah.
now. And if it doesn't happen right now, then something's wrong,
Yeah.
or it's just letting go of the right or wrong. Those words, just letting go of even the words right or wrong, bad or good, has been something that I had to work on.
That is preaching right there. Go in a little bit further on that, letting go of right and wrong, if you don't mind.
I think
Oh, I said, could you go in a little bit further on letting go of right and wrong? I think that's helpful. Still can't hear me?
no. I mean, it's just wash my nose. But letting go of right or wrong, just letting go of, basically for me that just means letting go of the expectation of what it should look like. Letting go of what my mind created. It was something that I created. I think we all create our own definitions of good and bad. So just letting go of that word good or bad, and it just is. Like, it just is. That's all. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is. It's unfolding in the way that it's supposed to. And I remember when I first had got into manifesting, I couldn't understand, like I would ask for something and it would go completely the opposite way of what I thought it should go. And I'm like, oh. But every time I always got led to that manifestation, but I had to go through this, I had to go through that. So it's just letting go of the expectation on what you think something should look like and not putting labels on anything.
Yeah.
Has been, even the word, like when I asked you, did you believe in twin flames? Like, I had to let go of the word.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's so many labels and so much, and then once you keep diving deep into what a twin flame is and how it's supposed to look like, it's like everything's been put in a box.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if it don't go how this person's twin flame journey is going, maybe he's not the one. It's just like letting go of everything that you're creating in your mind. Just the labels, the boxes, just letting it go. You just have no choice because you have no choice but to let it go.
Exactly.
That's just it. Like, I don't know if I explained that well in my brain. I explained it well, but yeah, just letting go of what you think things should look like, and just trusting in what you like. For me, what I was shown in the beginning, I held onto that so much, and then I had to look like, this is a whole nother being. This is a whole nother person. Like, he has to go through his own experiences. Has to be something that he wants. I can't control everything. So, like, we do have free will. Essentially, we do. So if he decides that this isn't what he wants, then what does that leave me? Am I going to just fall into pieces and never, love someone again, or never feel like I can experience something of that magnitude again? I'm limiting myself in that sense because it may be something or somebody out there that exceeds that. So it's just having that space to, just having that space to allow whatever it is for you to be.
Beautiful. No, I appreciate that. I think that's helpful. The detachment of trying to judge things as right and wrong, and just know that it is the unfolding. It just is what it is on the path to get me to who I am. Right? That's all it is, right? And so when we can stand in that, right, in that power, and just become the observer of reality, well, that's when everything unfolds perfectly, right? And yeah, the same way that we make that one person special, we can make 10 people special. Right? There's always going to be another SP out there. There's always going to be somebody else out there. But do you have the abundance mindset to actually understand that and see that in reality?
It's a process. I feel like, it's the point. It's the process, and I was just thinking about the plane too. So these spirit works at different points.
Absolutely.
But it's a process. It's a process.
Yeah.
It's definitely a process, and I know for a lot of people, it's been on a certain path. It gets discouraging, like when things don't play out exactly how you want it to play out. But I've learned to look at it like a game, sort of say, like a game. just if you look at the fun in it, it kind of alleviates that stress.
Exactly. It is a game. It's the most beautiful game that you can play. This game of reality. It's the best game. It's literally just a love letter to yourself that you're constantly writing moment after moment after moment. Agreed.
But yeah.
I appreciate you.
But thank you. Like I said, I was not gonna join your live. I was fighting tooth and nail. I swear, I was like, I'm
Why
not.
not?
You popped up on that page. I was like, God, okay, let me just join. Let me see this.
Exactly. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here as always. I'm glad you didn't listen to that lie telling you not to join.
Yeah, it's respect. Like, what you're teaching, it definitely is really empowering. It just, like earlier today, I had to affirm myself, just affirm myself, and I think it's a really cool, powerful state to be in, to just know that you are,
Yeah.
and to accept it, and to accept whatever comes with that. Like, it's a beautiful space to be in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful space for a beautiful goddess, right? So it's all working out perfectly. Spirit is always moving for you and everything is working out beautifully.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate it. You as well, man. Thank you.
You have to kick me off again. I don't know.
I got you. All right. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. 9:30. Your boy is about to lay it down. I appreciate y'all tonight, right? I appreciate the questions. I don't know what time I'll be on tomorrow. Probably not until the evening though. Tuesdays are typically family days, so probably won't be on till the evening. But yeah, I'll go through the comments. I'll see if there's any questions I missed. Maybe I'll tailor a discussion to that if there are multiple questions around the same topic. If not, I'll just pull a topic out my ass like usual, right? But y'all have a beautiful evening. Understand that you are source. Know that you are source. Remember that you are already everything that you desire, right? And I love y'all. Right? I love y'all. I'll see you next month too, but I'll see you tomorrow as well. Maybe Wednesday. We'll see.